Realizations and decisions are the molecules of what we do, the notes to the music, the step to the dance. The moment is everything, right? Good. The early actor, when I'm trying to get them to understand realizations and decisions, and the scenes are all like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you know, it's so good to teach from because it's so clearly your line, realization, decision, my realization, decision, my line, your line. Rain Man has a bit of that. And I choose scenes around that, right? So it's, I realize that you're this, so I decided to do this, my dialogue. And then you realize I'm doing that, so you decided to do this, your dialogue. And we go back and forward. R&D line, R&D line, R&D line, R&D line. And then at some point I go, you know, your realizations are not necessarily their decisions because your character is misinterpreting what they're doing often. And in real life that happens all the time. We don't listen to each other, we listen to what we think we're listening to. So a lot of times your characters are misinterpreting each other completely. In Rain Man, they kind of line up. In Suburban Motel, they're not lining up. They're misinterpreting each other. Certainly, I think in the whole suicide thing, until she says, I'm going to commit suicide, is when we go, oh, we're listening now. So the second kind of step for R&D is your decisions are not necessarily what I'm realizing. Right. Then in step 3, we start going, do you know what? R&Ds don't just come on dialogue. It can be, you say something, I realize, I decide to give you the cold shoulder and say nothing. You realize, decide, say something, I hear it, and what I do is I deflect it in saying nothing. And then you have R&Ds and speaking, and I have R&Ds and I don't speak, and that's called his monologue. And so R&Ds become in my silences. And so the actor goes, oh, I've got R&Ds even when I'm not speaking, and go, yeah, right? Good. The next step, this is following the exact same 5 steps. The next step is that the R&Ds are not necessarily about him, that I have R&Ds about me. And that fucks the young actor up because they're like, what? And I go, yeah, I realize that you don't get it, so I start to spell it out like a child. You need to understand, and then I go, oh fuck, and I realize I'm being a pedantic asshole. So I decide to soften my tactic. You know, you actually have one at the beginning of Rain Man. You have a realization that's off of him, but it's really you. You go, I'm kind of being mean, I should change my tactic. And then I go, okay, I realize you're still not getting it. I realize, no, then it's like, I realize that I'm not being clear, and then it becomes, I realize that I really shouldn't even be talking. And then I go, what were you saying? Like the realizations can be from me, generated by me, but the early actor who's trying to get out of their head and not think, that confuses you, because that's really the character having realizations about themselves, which means the character's thinking. And the last step is the realizations and decisions come simultaneous all over the place whenever they fucking come. And sometimes they're at the exact same time, and sometimes they're coming from other places, and the R&Ds can be completely not connected to the person at all. So your realizations and decisions can be simultaneous. I can realize something that's not even happening. I can go, oh fuck, I just remembered something else. And that's when the character is in complete thinking. And so you use R&Ds to get out. You then find R&Ds to get connected. Then you start having R&Ds about yourself, and you start realizing R&Ds come all over the place. Characters have moments on their own. And then it's like, work them out on the page, and then let them happen.